how has race or racism really impacted your life?
I would say, to be honest, racism really hasn't impacted my life because growing up in foster care, you actually see multiple races in the same predicament. We're familyless, if you would say. We don't have our parents with us, and because of that, we a lot of the kids, we don't look at our skin tone and say, "Hey, you're different than me." We figure that we're all the same. So once we're in a foster home and we are in a foster home with different kids, my first foster home was with a white family, and the kids didn't treat me any different. They were actually excited to have a brother. So that was a good experience. And just growing up and being able to be in more and more diverse communities, I really haven't been affected by racism. Um, I would say the only time I was affected by racism is watching a movie. And the movie, I think, almost was initiating me to be angry at like white people or anybody else, and I didn't like that feeling. I hated the feeling more than I hated um, the instigation part of it, or make it the way I was feeling at the time. I was like, man, that it just made me mad, to be wanting to have hatred for someone.
I had to ask you a little bit. I know you've been looking into becoming a police officer,
Yeah.
and from what I've talked to you just briefly here, that you're having kind of second thoughts about that.
Yeah, so society right now is rough. It's like it's better to be a civilian and out of the way, out of sight, out of mind, than to be someone in the spotlight unnecessarily. Um, I've been seeing a lot of police brutality um, in many races and uh, definitely different genders, and this is happening, and it's like it's not new, but it's just being put to the forefront. And some of them of excessive force or an accidental murdering, or I don't want to say murdering, but self-defense. Um, some of them are justified and others are not. And and it's been hard because it doesn't matter what race you are. Everybody looks at that badge and does not like you. They don't even know you and they don't like you. And as me being an African American, um, I've seen so many videos of other African American police officers, chief of police, um, down there with some of these minorities that are with the Black Lives Matter groups, and they don't care about the skin tone. They just care that you're wearing that badge. And they're yelling and spitting and cursing at them and telling them they're a sellout and Uncle Tom and all of these other things. And it's making me think like, man, this is horrible. And this is what is affecting people like me who want to serve our community. We want to be the change that you want to see in the community. You want to be a part of it. But society and people with their hatred is pushing us away from even wanting to be the change, because it's like you want change, but when we try to change and put on the badge to look like you, it's like we still don't like you. I think what makes it impact me so much more is the fact that me and Kara both growing up in Cleveland and sometimes of the impoverished areas, and we're seeing so many murders of human beings, and like just put it plain, black on black crime, and we don't hear none of that on the news. We don't hear about how Chicago has the highest murder rate in the United States, and it's mostly minorities killing each other. But we hear about police officers doing these murders, and I'm not saying that we're going to take the lesser of two evils. No, both of them are wrong, and we need to put both of them in the forefront so that everything is on a balanced scale, so we can know that, hey, we support you, but we do not support unnecessary force, unnecessary violence. We don't support people killing other people for drug reasons. We don't support drive-by shootings, killing little kids, and all of those things. We don't support those things. but we will support the police who are doing right. Granted, I just want to repeat again, no, it is not right for excessive force. No, it is not right to do unnecessary murders and shooting people for no reason. No, that is not right. The best way to put it, without so many words, is love thy neighbor as you love thyself. If we're able to love one another, badge or no badge, as we love ourselves, treat each other with dignity and respect, we are able to, it's easy to be able to discern good and evil when you're going with a Christ-like mindset, with love and peace. But if you're not going with that, and you're going with destruction and antagonization and vengeance and malice and all of those things, you're just going to get all of that back. If we can do those things, I can't say maybe, but I believe that it will be some type of a change. Now, change is hard to do when Satan is in on the prowl and he's doing this thing, because he's working and he's trying to pick on everybody right now. But being able to put Christ in, it will help. It will help substantially. So I would say, as a church, we just need to continue to love thy neighbor as you love thyself. If we are able to love our neighbors, not just our police officer, but our neighbors, when they may be angry, when they may be tired, when they may not want to see you or just continue to love them. That will draw down the tension of anger and aggression and things of that nature. And as well as our police officers, if we do the same thing to them and they do the same thing to us, we should be able to do that. And that's why I want to be a police officer. I want to be that change, to be able to love my neighbor